We are back, and we go back to the phones. Tony was kind enough to wait through the break. Tony, we appreciate that. You're next up here on Sportsline.
All right, thank you for taking the call. What I want to know, like a couple of Sundays ago, in the Sunday newspaper, they had all the, like, Womack gets to play for the Titans, all the Southern football players connected to the Titans and down south just playing this Super Bowl. But nobody said anything else about that since. And I just think this coach right here that just hired, he's greatly inexperienced because he's going to get in a lot of fourth down situations. He's going to be confused. But I really think they should have kept Mark Malaki and let him do finish out this other year. If he didn't do it, he can crack the whip on him. I think Robinson played favorites. And if he go, this man go, I hope he go with him. I don't care if his father is the ex Los Angeles Rams coach. I think he need to go somewhere and sit down because he used a power play. It wasn't necessary this time.
Yeah, well, John Robinson is not the son or the grandson of the John Robinson that coached out west. But I do agree with you in the point that he did essentially exercise a power play here. The disagreement was clear, and he won out. So it was his choice to make, and now because of that, he's married himself to Mike Vrabel. If Mike Vrabel comes in and has success, John Robinson will get all the credit in the world because he ditched a playoff coach to find a guy who had more success than that, and he will deserve the credit if that's the case. But if Mike Vrabel comes in and this team takes a step backwards, man, the buck stops with John Robinson on that one because that is his call. And he had this team in a certain spot with Mike Mularkey, and if they go backwards, that's going to really hurt the trust that a lot of people in the public have on him. I mean, I'm in that group. I think John Robinson's done a lot of really good things since he's been the general manager of the Titans. I also think there's a segment of the population that believes he can do no wrong based off of some of the things he's done. And I think he has made some mistakes over the course of these couple years. I don't think he handled the Mularkey situation all that great. And now his biggest decision since he's been in charge in these 2 years was going out and finding the next coach. And he's attaching himself to a guy who has not been a head coach in the National Football League, was only a coordinator for 1 year. May work splendidly. John Robinson very well may be the smartest guy in the room. But if he's not on this one and it goes backwards, he deserves a ton of the criticism.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Tony. Let's go say hello to Phil. Phil, good evening. You're next up here on Sportsline.
Hey, Steve. How you doing?
Doing great.
Here's my question. When there's a roster spot on the hockey team and Fisher comes back, do you think they're going to send him to a minor league team to get him ready, or is he going to bump a guy out, or what do you think's going to happen?
If I'm not mistaken, they waived Cody McLeod last week, and so he was picked up on waivers by the Rangers. So technically, they're kind of down a guy at the moment anyway. They've got some other guys, and they bring guys up from Milwaukee all the time who fill in that gap. But I think essentially their core guys, there's essentially a spot there waiting for Fisher when he comes back. But yeah, so I mean, what this will mean in all likelihood is a guy like Mika Salamaki will probably see a lot of time in the minors of the rest of the season and less time up with the Predators. So some guys are going to go down. Some guys are going to spend more time in Milwaukee than maybe they otherwise would. But you're talking about prospects who have been fourth-line guys, fill-in guys. Fisher will not go down to Milwaukee. Fisher, when he's ready, will fill into the lineup and play here.
So you think he'll be? You think he can do that in a month?
Yes, I think he can. I think that. I mean, first off, usually I know they're preseason games, and that's different in terms of the intensity and all that. But usually these guys come in, and they're about a week out in training camp, and they start playing preseason games. So I don't think they're going to rush him back. They're not going to put too much of a pace on it. But if he's had a week or so to get himself ready, and now he's going to start training and really getting on the ice, 2-3 weeks from now, I think he's absolutely back in the lineup and ready to go.
Yeah, and we really don't know what kind of shape he's in. He may be in a lot better shape than we think.
Yeah, he kind of joked today that he was winded after being out on the ice this morning and that he may struggle to get through the press conference. But he looks in really good shape, and I talked to a couple of the players, Roman Josi in particular, and he said he still looks shredded. He still looks like the same old athlete Mike Fisher's always been. So they're excited about having him back, and I truly don't think it will take that long. They're not going to rush him. I don't think we're going to see him this week or anything like that. But give it a couple of weeks. I think he'll be back out there on the ice with him.
It'll be good to see him out there.
Absolutely. He's a fan favorite for sure. Phil, thanks for the call. We appreciate it. And we got one more here. This is Brian. Brian, hello.
Hey, listen, I think the Tennessee Titans are going to be the most improved defense in 2018. From what I can see, a lot of opportunity for improvement. I'm telling you, the Tennessee Titans defense is going to be the most improved defense from the previous year. Now, the offense, I've never been a big fan of the quarterback, and I love the tight end, and I love the defense. But let me tell you something. I think that the defense is going to be really, 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 really good. And I think that they're going to hold teams to, low scores. And I think they're going to be at least as well as they were this year. But I think the running backs are going to be good. And I think that, who's that tight end who's the all-pro?
Delaney Walker.
Oh, yeah, he's good. Everybody loves him. And then everybody loves the running backs. These guys are good. And, these guys are big heroes in this town now. We're talking about, the top running backs in the NFL. And, the defense, if we had the top defense, then we would win. That's what I think. I don't know.
Well, the defense has taken big strides the last couple of years. You hope Dean Pease takes them to the next level because he's had so many top 10 defenses over the course of his career. Offensively, that running game has to be better than you think it is. They were not very good this year. They have to step it up. They have to be better on the offensive line. They have to get that running game going because that's where a lot of the passing game plays off of. That's what you hope Matt LaFleur and this group can come in and do. They're going to have a lot more run-pass options in there. I think that fits Marcus Mariota's style. He wants to do a lot of play action. You need to be able to run the ball to do that. This is all going to be about the offense, and it's going to be about the personnel changes they make up front on the offensive line, to me, for them to take the next step offensively. I don't worry about Marcus Mariota. I don't worry necessarily about the skill on this roster offensively right now. I certainly don't worry about the tackles, but there are some improvements they have to make in personnel, and then once they get those guys in there, they have to find the right scheme to put these guys in the best position to succeed. I don't think that was always the case under Mike Mularkey and Terry Robisky. I think they were stubborn at times in what they were trying to do, specifically running the ball into heavy fronts. I don't think you can do that. You got to find other ways to open things up, and that's the challenge for Matt LaFleur and this new offense when they come in here with the Titans. All right, we got to take a break. We'll come back. When we do, we will hear from Mike Fisher, back with the Predators after about a 6-month retirement. Stay tuned. More Sportsline on the way after this.
This is a Storm 5 HD weather update. Sign up for Weather Call at News Channel.